everyone! Today we will be making a craft that shows the inside of a pumpkin. For this craft, you will need 2 paper plates, orange paints and a paintbrush, brown paper. If you don't have orange paint or brown paper, you can use an orange and brown marker instead. You may want to have yellow on hand as well. A couple of sheets of paper, yellow yarn or string, a glue stick and or bottle, scissors, and a pen or pencil. First, take one of your paper plates and loosely fold it in half. Take your scissors and cut on the loose fold that you made. Open the plate back up and cut along the circle to make a hole in the center. Next, take your orange paint and start painting the back of the plate, or you can color the plate with orange marker. While we wait for that to dry, let's make the parts of our pumpkin. Cut a square out of one of your sheets of paper. Then, cut out a bunch of different sized oval shapes. These are going to be our pumpkin seeds. Now, take your brown sheet of paper and cut out a good-sized pumpkin stem for your pumpkin. It helps to start off with just cutting out a little square and then measuring from there. Remember that you can also use a white sheet of paper and just color it brown too. Now take about 12 inches of yarn and cut it into different sized pieces. Once the paint has dried, you can flip over your plate and get another sheet of paper. This paper is going to be the color of the inside of your pumpkin, So if you have colored paper that you think looks like the inside of a pumpkin, you can use that. If you just have white paper, then you can also color a color that you think will work. Today, I'm going to use yellow and a little bit of orange. But first, we need to measure how much of this paper we will need. Put the paper on top of your cutout circle and cut off any paper that you see overlapping the plate. After that, it's helpful to cut off the corners and then create a big circle. However, we want to be able to glue on the flat part of the paper plate, not on the ridges. So make a smaller circle after you've made your big circle so that it will be easy to glue on. Now you will color your cutout circle whichever color you want to use as the inside of your pumpkin. As I said earlier, I'm going to use yellow and orange. I'm going to color all over with yellow and draw strands of orange to show that the inside of my pumpkin is really stringy. Now we will make our labels of the parts of the pumpkin. First, write the word seeds and cut it out. There can actually be as many as a few hundred seeds per pumpkin. Pumpkin seeds are eaten a lot of times and are actually fairly healthy for you. Second, write the word ribs and cut it out. The ribs of a pumpkin are the indented ridges from top to bottom. Each rib represents a whole row of seeds inside, so it's likely that the more ribs you see on a pumpkin, the more seeds there will be. Third, write the word pulp and cut it out. This is the light orange and slightly hard coating that is there to protect the inside of the pumpkin. This is also the part that is used when people cook or bake yummy pumpkin treats. Fourth, write the word fibrous strands and cut it out. This is the gooey and stringy part of the inside of a pumpkin. The fibrous strands are important because they are what the seeds grow from. You would see if you opened up a pumpkin that the seeds are often attached to these strands. Fifth, write the word skin and cut it out. The skin is the orange layer that we see on the outside of the pumpkin. It protects insects from getting in the fruit. Sixth, write the word shell and cut it out. The pumpkin shell refers to the skin and the pulp of the pumpkin. So, when you cut open the top of a pumpkin, you now have a pumpkin shell. Lastly, write the word stem and cut it out. The stem is at the top of a pumpkin. It turns green when it's not fully grown and brown when it is fully grown. While it's growing, the stem is attached to a vine, which brings nutrients to the fruit to help it grow. It can be taken off the vine once it is fully grown and ready to be used to decorate or eat. Set your labels to the side for now. Now glue all over the paper that you placed earlier. You're going to place your little white circles and your yarn all over the paper however you would like. It might be helpful for you to lift the paper plate and put your hands under the paper so that you have a stable surface. Then turn your plate over and glue your stem on the top of the paper plate. Now we will label the parts of our pumpkin. We'll glue the seeds label by our white ovals. Next, the fibrous strands by our yarn, because fibrous strands are long and stringy. Then, the pulp label on top of our paper, which represents the protective layer of the inside of our pumpkin. We will glue the ribs label on the ridges of our paper plate because of the ridges you find on a pumpkin. Next, the skin label we will put on the orange part of the paper plate because of the orange layer on the outside of the pumpkin. Then, the shell label on the rim of our paper plate to show the opening of our pumpkin, which includes the skin and the pulp. Lastly, we will glue the stem label on top of the stem. Finally, we will glue our second paper plate to the back of our pumpkin. Feel free to paint or color the back of this paper plate orange as well. You're going to glue the entire rim of your paper plate. If you have a glue bottle, I recommend using that since they stick together better this way. If you only have a glue stick, you just may need to put a little more glue on than you would with a glue bottle. After you've done that, gently press the paper plates together. The rims should both be touching each other. You can lift it up and gently sandwich the paper plates all around to make it extra secure. Now you've learned about the parts of a pumpkin while making a fun craft. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.